And obviously what I think I'll do is turn it to, you want to give the update on the bridge and where we're at?
I can start it.
You start it and Jeff will continue it and I can ad hoc as we go along.
We'll be a team.
We'll be a team, there you go.
Sounds good.
Okay, so, as everybody knows, the bridge has been down. On June 28th, the day after the incident, the bridge was inspected by Civil Tech Engineering. There are, with a structural consultant from the National Bridge Inspection Standards Manager. Also on that day, the bridge was evaluated by Olson Design, that's an architectural firm, who was also called out. But we have reports from both of them telling us basically what we all know, with no conclusions, because at this point, the Civil Tech has recommended that the bridge covering be taken off. In order to do that, they have had to shore it up. It was listing, and just for additional safety, so it doesn't cave in and or somebody, God forbid, be under it, whatever. It's still closed. It has been braced. There were engineers out there yesterday and today. We'll have a report from them tomorrow. We still don't know what we don't know. I think on yesterday, right? The bracing was today. The bracing was completed this morning, right? We're still waiting for reports. The adjuster for the insurance company hasn't come out yet. So all what we're waiting for is for the water to recede so that the trusses can be properly evaluated by the engineers. It's going to take months. This is not going to be a fast, easy fix. It's going to take months. We're also working with the National Registry of Historical Places, working along with them. They're working with us, so they'll fill in what I left out, Jeff.
No, you did a great job. Right now we're at the point where temporary bracing has been put up on the bridge, as Rita mentioned. Civil Tech, the village's structural consultant and their bridge manager, is going to be out tomorrow to take a look at the temporary bracing to ensure that was constructed and installed per their plan. Another note and thing that they're going to inspect tomorrow is the substructure of the bridge. The day after the bridge was hit, the water levels were still up because of rain, so they weren't able to get down under the bridge to look at the abutments and the substructure of the bridge to see if that sustained any damage. Civil Tech is also going to look at the steel truss members tomorrow. There's been concern as the bridge was not braced, all the rafters were taken out by the truck. The column supports for the bridge, if you're looking through the bridge, were bending out under the weight of the cover. And if you notice, those members are tied to the actual steel truss. So we want to make sure that there wasn't any adverse effects on those steel truss members, between the time the bridge was hit and when the temporary bracing was put on today. So they're scheduled to be out there tomorrow. We should have a report from their office by the end of the week. So we're just kind of, going through the process, carefully and diligently, working with the insurance companies, just to get their concurrence on, what we do so that we limit the village's exposure should there be any discrepancies or differences of opinions on what should or shouldn't be done out there. And then
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Do they suspect there's any damage to the steel, the historic part, or the abutments, or is this, they have to go through the punch list, I get that. Do they actually suspect, or they have no idea?
They're going to go down there and take a look at it. The bridge abutments, as we discussed, numerous times, that they're deteriorating the limestone abutments. So, they're going to see much of the same, and they don't, was there any damage due to the super load of the truck? You had a truck that's almost 9 tons that went over a bridge with a weight limit of 3. Was there any damage or anything like that? I'm gonna wait until I see the
I
result.
saw it, yes, thanks.
But it sounds like, from what I can tell, and I'll let other folks ask questions, is that it's not going to be a quick process because we've got all the different steps we have to go through right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like, so go ahead, Ron, if you have a
Is there a
question.
reason that?
Oh, Bob, hold on a second, Bob.
My question concerns Jeff's time, Dave's time. Is that going to be covered, or do we need to hire somebody to do that for us?
Good question. One of the things that we have been all trying to do is to segregate those times so that when everything is finalized with the insurers, it will be an all-in cost. There may be disputes. I'm, at least in my experience, no offense to anyone who might be in the insurance industry, but it's my experience that, payouts are often much more stingy than one would like. And, we may, dollars are fungible, but we may find that the village's overall cost is X and the insurance company's offering something less than that.
Okay,
That's
so
gonna be a
it's not
negotiation.
question that we should be reimbursed for Jeff and Dave's time.
I believe that we have every right to be reimbursed because
Oh,
we
and
are
your time too.
Yes, all those are out-of-pocket expenses relating to the damage. At the end of the day, there's usually a negotiation. We have impressed upon the adjusters that this is a public health, safety, and welfare concern because of the importance of the bridge to access not only downtown, but other areas of town. And it's been a little bit disappointing that they have not been more responsive. And so much so that the one who Dave was working with left for the week and didn't give a number for somebody else to contact in the interim. So, we're soldiering on with the expectation that at the end of the day, the village will be made whole, but not with the Pollyannish view that that's a natural outcome.
Okay.
Yeah, Bobby, I'm not sure how it all shook out, but I know that we did the same thing when the bridge was hit about 18 months ago. We remember the car that the company, the column ended up
Yeah.
inside. I know there was a lot of questions, and we were just making sure that we separated our time, and Debbie, the village accountant, was making sure that all that was tabulated. Again, I don't know what the end result was, but I know that that's the procedure we're going on for this one as well.
Okay, thanks.
Not shocked.
Just curious, is there any potential for damage that may not manifest itself until 5 years, 6 years, 7, 8 years from now? In other words, short of doing core samples and things like that, or non-destructive testing on the actual foundation part, do you know what they're going to plan on doing in that regard?
Well, they're planning on doing a visual assessment. If they see something that, they've been under that bridge so many times, if they see something that's, going to be out of the ordinary, catch their eye, again, they've got the trained eye for the structural components, they're starting to see something, they're going to recommend whatever test they need to do to evaluate that and come up with something.
I was just curious about fatigue or,
Yeah, along those same lines, I think we're going to rely on the engineering experts to take a look at it and to identify those. At the end of the day, my expectation is that there will be a settlement, and any latent defects that are not revealed and addressed as part of that settlement is going to be our unfortunate carry.
that's a good answer.
Any other comments from the board?
I just wanted to add, after the bridge was hit, Dave reminded me of the Rockland Bridge in Libertyville, that it sustained some kind of similar type damage, and it took 7 weeks for that bridge to be reopened. That bridge was closed. There was it was more of a decorative steel facade that needed to be removed because it was a danger, much like the bridge, our bridge is. And it took 7 weeks between, coordinating with with IDOT and the bridge office who mandated the closure of that bridge, much like our covered bridge. And then Rockland Bridge just working through the process of coordinating with the local agencies, coordinating with IDOT, what work was going to be done to the bridge, and then actually doing the bridge, and then the final inspection and reopening the bridge. So that was a decorative facade, and that took 7 weeks to, by the time the bridge was closed and it was open. This is much more significant and substantial damage to it. So the memo that you have in front of you, outlines that, our best case scenario at this point, just looking at this, is getting a new timber cover constructed in 9 to 10 months. Again, that's best case. We still don't know a lot of things. Discussing with IDOT's bridge office, they sent an email to the bridge manager the day after the bridge started mandating the bridge be closed, and they're very taking special attention to what's going to happen to the bridge, because no matter what happens to the bridge, a new cover on it, IDOT is going to be looking at the loads and things of that nature, and then we'll be issuing a permit. So again, the process is going to take a while.
So, Ryan, I know you had a comment, I know you did, sir, no, you're good. Okay.
So with Hartford and the reinsurance, the secondary insurance company, how much emphasis was put at this as a major thoroughfare for downtown? Because for 2 weeks and no one to come out surprises me.
So, fortunately Dave's not here, so I can blame him. No, just kidding.
But the fact is, they may have been out and just didn't tell us. Because
Well,
the
normally
contact,
they would set an appointment to come out and inspect.
usually,
I
yes.
would think they'd want
Yes.
Jeff with them.
Well, I mean, so it surprises me, so either we're not putting enough emphasis on this, that it's a thoroughway, and I know the downtown is considering also a lawsuit for loss of business.
Yeah, interruption of business. that's
So
what
there's gonna be a secondary case in here as well. But for them not to be out here surprises me. So I don't know if we're putting enough emphasis that 3,500 cars travel on this a day, and it's a major thoroughway to downtown and out of downtown. And I've called Dave twice, and I've gotten no call back, so I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, I don't have an update on where he's at with the adjuster. I can't provide that detail. I do know that we did have to get the bridge supported with that, that structure so it didn't
Oh, that was-
fall over. That had to be done as soon as possible. So
Let's see.
we don't even have approval necessarily from the insurance company. We just did that. And we're proceeding with the inspections,
Yeah,
right?
but
So,
even with insurance, those type of things are gonna be covered because it's a safety issue. You have to do that.
agreed.
Even if without their endorsement, you have to do that for health and safety.
And it was a holiday week last week too, so, the timing of it was not ideal. So I think, what are we in our second week now? So, and it's really unfortunate. I just can't believe that happened, right? Right after we spent all the money, got it all nice and shape, and I'm just,
Well, the picture from today is just unbelievable, unbelievable.
yeah, so another thing, so we know we have an issue. We saw a moving van, semi-moving van. Ben Fitch caught it, took a picture of it, tried to drive towards the bridge and had to turn around in the church parking lot. So that's a whole new one, right?
That happens daily.
But the semi-trucks are driving down there?
Daily, they turn
Oh,
around.
yeah.
Even when big signs say bridge closed?
Sure. Daily. It happens daily.
It's my driveway, they turn around in.
I don't know if you guys saw the moving van that ended up,
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
but what we need to do is we need to contact Google and the maps and all the different, there's like 3 major apps that we need to contact, and they need to take the bridge off of, because these people are just following the internet. They're not reading what's going on. It's like that guy who he was following his Google Maps or whatever, and he was driving a huge van, and he ended up driving into the sand by the ocean. I mean, it was just like, didn't even, So I mean, it's getting bad. But I mean, that's something that they should do. They should need to correct it.
If it's helpful, just, and not to belabor the point, apropos your comment, Ryan, I know that Dave has had both oral and written communications, but one of his written communications included the following. The Robert Parker Kaufman Bridge not only serves as a vital transportation link for the village, its residents and its public safety vehicles, but it's also an invaluable asset of the village, having recently been included in the National Register of Historic Places. As such, it is essential that Hartford expedite its review of the bridge so that appropriate steps can be taken to preserve and protect the public safety and the significant public asset and to prevent future damage to the bridge. So the issue of its importance, both from a community asset and from a transit and safety aspect, has been forefront in the communications that Dave has had. We can't help when ears are deaf to such things, but we're trying to talk louder.
Sure. Gotta put the retail aspect in there too. Just saying.
Aaron, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I mean, it probably goes without saying, I hope, but obviously Historical Society is happy to help however we can. I think we're able to get the original plans to you. I know we got them to John, he was going to make a copy. Yeah, okay.
Thank you for doing that.
And, I don't know that there's other things that we have that would be of use, but if you think of something, don't hesitate. We left a message for Dave earlier in the week. One thing that I would like to be considered as this sort of process unfolds, a major cost component of the refurbishment was a new cover. So it would seem unfortunate if we have to now build a new cover, only to build another new cover in 5 years if we do the refurbishment. So I don't know if there's, I don't know how you would do this or if it's possible or all that, but it'd be nice if we could just build one new cover or build a new cover now and make it count.
That thought has already come up too.
Yeah.
Is this the time to get at the abutments, right?
Right, or move the refurbishment up. So.
And can we get the 17,000 that we just paid to redo that? Can that be part of, hey, we spent 17 grand to do that cover, and now that's money that's just thrown out the window. Can we add that into what they should pay?
Well, I'm not sure how it exactly works, but it's all part of the settlement, right? Of what we had to cost us to repair the bridge, and really, it's going to be the actual replacement cost probably. I guess
It was more than 17 grand, it's 93 grand.
Well, that was the underneath.
Right, that was just
Yeah.
17 for the cover,
Right.
but, right.
Yeah.
To Aaron's point, I would hope that any of the engineers or any of the people that are inspecting this bridge keep in mind how time is really relevant to what we do. Is there, could we do it for less to do the repairs that we were going to do in 10 years because the top is off? Those kinds of things to keep in mind that we would in fact be replacing the top twice if we went forward the way we are right now.
And that's already been brought up, so just,
No, I'm saying that the engineers need.
No, we were part of, we had a conference call and we talked about it.
Just
I
utilize
didn't know that.
Yeah. sorry.
building ordinance and law. That's all you gotta utilize. Code enforcement. Anything that has to be brought to code is gonna be up to the insurance company based on the new building codes. So if you have to upgrade 2x4s, you have to upgrade supports because it's now the new code, they're now going to be subject to that based on the insurance. So as long as you guys know what the code is and what it would cost, and cost to rebuild it as it is today, based on what the new code is, incorporate that into your replacement. Because that's what they have to do. It's not just a replacement, it's replacement plus code.
Yeah, and Jeff, you may want to comment on that because it's in one of the documents that was provided to us, right?
The assessment by Olson Design Studio, again, the architect, started bringing up exactly those things that, it was built with, the sister 2x10 runners that, may not be code now. It's got a lot of 2x4s, 2x6s, 4x6s, all that stuff is going to need to get looked at and accommodated in the design for the new cover. And again, that's also gets coordinated with IDOT for structural loads, and then also probably the National Registry of Historic Places for confirmation that doesn't alter the status of the bridge on the registry.
I just want to make sure my point was understood. My point was that we need to be looking at what we were going to plan on doing in 10 years?
Yes,
And does that change because the top will be off?
yes, it's understood.
I think it was, yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, totally understood. And I think that's already started, the conversations have already started along those lines, so. And because of the Open Meetings Act, there's been some conversations not shared with the whole board until now, right? And that conversation started almost immediately afterwards. Any other,
One part of some of the reports involved whether the wood would be salvageable or not, and that it might not be practical to salvage it. And when we reach that point of knowing whether it will or will not be salvageable, that if it is not, I've heard a variety of suggestions. The one I like best is donating it to the Downtown and Historical Society and making paperweights with a burned bridge in it. And whether you sell them or give them away, something that would kind of tie the bridge physically to more people.
Yeah,
So my point is, don't discard.
yeah, to that point, you know, everything that was removed to put up the temporary bracing, all of that had been saved. It wasn't disposed off-site. So it was taken off-site, so it wasn't just sitting there, but it's not, you know.
Is it in Ryan's basement?
no,
Things usually end up in my basement.
we were afraid, so it's a fire hazard. We were afraid it was gonna get stolen,
Yeah.
so we asked the Eula Township, right, to store it offsite, so.
And numerous people would take chunks.
Yeah,
There were people,
There may be some pieces
there were
of
people who were
this,
doing that.
We took what we could.
Yeah, okay.
So I have a penny, give a penny, take a penny thing out on my counter. And since the bridge has had this happen to it, people started looking at the give a penny, take a penny, and they've been leaving like dollars and quarters, and they say put this towards the bridge. And so I raised it up a little with a little paper bridge on top. I taped to it, and now it's like full of dollar bills. But I mean, people really care. This is all I'm trying to say. It's really been kind of uplifting in a way. Yeah.
It's certainly got a lot of media coverage, so.
yeah. There was actually an article written in the Kansas City Star, like an original article, believe it or not just carrying the feed. The media attention was unbelievable.
We also had a woman that just literally, was it 20 minutes after it was hit? Did they talk to you, or was it someone else? Came from California. So she came to Illinois just to see the bridges, one of two stops to see the new historic buildings.
She was just like,
So just 20 minutes after it happened. So she landed, flew here, went to the car, and she saw it demolished. And upset her because obviously this was the whole reason for the trip.
Is she one of those people who checks up all the National Historic things? So this was the new ones?
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, Dave texted me, I said, you're joking, right? It's a joke.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I'm afraid not. I'm like, you're kidding me. I couldn't believe it, so.
Did you guys, the National Historic, gal from the National Historic Society architect came out? Did you see that gal? She came out, she was out there for the better part of a day, measuring all the trim, everything. She used our bathroom, that's how we knew who she was. And, well, you know, everybody uses our bathroom, but.
Got a great bathroom.
Yeah, it's a seventh wonder of Long Grove, that's how I profess it.
Yeah. I know Christine Olson also did all of that stuff, so that way, you know, the different angles and what that bridge actually looked like could get replicated.
Okay, I just thought it was kind of interesting. It's like, she was like the first one out there. This gal, she was.
So any other comments on the bridge? Otherwise, I'll move to the very first item on the agenda,